Let's look at question 1. So we have to match up these answer choices to each graph. So remember the 3 types of graphs that we've been talking about: linear, quadratic, and exponential. Linear makes a straight line. It can go any direction as long as it's a straight line. Quadratic makes the U. It can go up or it can go down. And then we've been looking at this exponential where it just shoots straight up in the air like that. So let's start matching it up. Number 1, well, that's obvious, it's quadratic. So now let's look at question 2, so we'll clear this out. So for question 2, what we're going to do is we're just going to plot these points here really quickly. I'll do it XY axis, and let's start plotting our points here. 0, 1. So if I go over 0 and up 1, I'd put a point. 1, 3. So I go over 1 and up 3. So over 1 and up 3, I'll put a point. Our next coordinate is 2, 9. So go over 2, and this time we're going to go up 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I go over 2, up 9. Now just by looking at this right here, you can see that this data is shooting up really quickly. So we know that it's exponential. Look at question 3. This is none of the above. This is not linear. There's no straight line on a circle. It does not make a U for a quadratic, and the data is not shooting up. So this is a whammy. D, it's none of the above. That is not any of those 3, linear, quadratic, or exponential. Now let's look at question 4. Miss Winkler makes $50 a day working for Goose Creek Memorial. So let's make an XY table, see what happens here. So for 1 day, 50 bucks. 2 days, well, the pattern's just going to continue here. It's going to go up 50, $100. 3 days, 150. And what did we say? That if you see a constant rate of change means it has a slope. And which one of those 3 graph types have a slope? It's linear. So this is a linear. So our answer choice would be A. Number 5, determine if the following descriptions are functions. So look at this right here. If I were to write these out as coordinates, so let's change a different color here. Let's go with, so this first one is 4, -2. And then, so you see right here, 4, -2. And then the other one's going to be 4, +2. And what did we say? That if you see 2 x's that repeat, we already know that this is not a function. So we just have to find the answer choice that represents that. So let's look here. It is not a function because the x values repeat, so my answer choice is B. Number 6, is this a function, yes or no? If I look at the x's, I see 2 x values that repeat, so this is not a function. Nope. So let's find the one that represents this. It is not a function because an x value is repeated, H. Number 7, they give you a graph. We're going to do the vertical line test, and if it hits the graph only once when you do the vertical line test, remember we said that is a function. So this is a yes, this is a function. So yes, let's find the one that represents the vertical, not horizontal. Horizontal line test, we do not do that in Algebra 1. So let's find the one that talks about the vertical. It is a function because it passes the vertical line test, so the answer is D. Number 8, let's look at our x values, -1, 0, 1, 3, and 4. None of the x values repeat, so this is a function. So let's see which one represents that. It is a function because the y values repeat. No, we don't care about the y's. It is a function because all the x values only have one y value, yes. Number 9, it says find the slope of the line. So I'm going to pick 2 points. So if you look here, there's a point, and here's a point. Now remember Slope Dude's course. He's either skiing up or he's skiing down, or remember this is 0 fun, and then at the very end that would be undefined. So let's figure out which one of these slopes that he's skiing, and it looks like he's skiing down. Remember the nice negative, right? So this automatically is a negative answer. If you did not put a negative answer, you automatically were doing this slope incorrectly. And remember, slope is, it's either you either rise up or down, and you always run or ski to the right. Well, in this case, we're rising down, we're falling, so we know that our answer is negative. So you have to go down and to the right, down and to the right, down and to the right. So let's go from point to point. Let's start here. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my top number. and I'm going to run to the right once. And if you see this pattern, it's going to continue. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right once. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right once. And if I reduce negative 4 over 1, I can actually type it in my calculator. If I type in negative 4 divided by 1, the calculator is going to output a whole value of negative 4. So what you needed to do, you needed to make sure that there were 2 bubbles on the left. What you needed to do is bubble in the negative, and then you can just find the 4. It'd be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the 4. You bubble that in, and there's your answer. Negative 4. Use Slope Dude's course, people. That's the whole reason why we did that. Okay, let's look at 10. Looking at locations A, B, and C on this graph here, this is a quadratic. Which of the following answer choices is true about the graph? They're talking about the vertex. So we said that a quadratic either has a maximum vertex, that's the highest point, or it would have a minimum vertex, which would be the lowest point. Well, in this case, it has a maximum vertex, and that vertex is located at point B. So let's see here, the vertex is located at location B, so this is my answer choice. Question 11, looking at the locations again, this time they're talking about the y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accentuate this a little bit. This is my x-axis, and we'll use red for the y-axis. This is my y-axis. We'll put it down here. So the question is asking, where does the parabola, here's your parabola, right here, this quadratic, where does this quadratic cross the y-axis? You can see it crosses the y-axis right here at location A. So our answer is A. And then look at 12. This time they're talking about the x-intercept. Where does it cross the x-axis, or the axis in yellow? And this time you can see it crosses the x-axis at location C. So this would be my answer, location C. 13, where are the x-intercepts? So if we go back to the previous question, the x-intercepts are located where they cross the x-axis. So if you look, this graph crosses the x-axis here and here. So let's look at those numbers. They're counting by 2s. 2, 4, this is negative 6. I know it's a little blurry, but it crosses at negative 6 on the left. And then look here, it crosses at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It crosses at 14 on the right. There are actually 2 of them here. So let's see, it crosses at negative 6, but it doesn't include positive 14. And if you look at 50, that's positive. 50 positive is way up here. Nothing is happening up here. They're trying to trick you and think that, oh, I'm going to pick this down here. No, that's not it. So it crosses at both A and B. It crosses at negative 6 and positive 14 on the x-axis. Which statement accurately describes the function graph to the right? So let's go through our answer choices. Let's look at letter F. The function has a slope of 3. Well, let's see if that's true. If I go from point to point, it's positive, right? So our answer choice has to be a positive slope for that. So let's go up 1, 2, 3. That's my top number. And I run to the right once. So if I reduce that, yes, it does have a slope of 3. So let's see if the other condition is true. And an x-intercept at negative 2, 0. So if I go negative 2, 0, did this line cross the x-axis right here at negative 2, 0? And yes, it does. So my answer is F. 15, the graph to the right shows the change in the value of a car over several years. Looking at locations, here's location A, here's location B, here's location C. Which is true? So let's take a look here. The asymptote is located at location A. Well, first off, we need to go back and look at what this word means. Remember, that is the invisible line that is almost touching the graph at the bottom. It's almost like it's holding it up. Well, if I look at that particular vocabulary, I already know that this location right here is where my asymptote is at. So I know it's not A. The asymptote is located at location B, yes. The asymptote is located at location C, no. That is the origin. And the graph does not have an asymptote. It does. You can see it right here at location B. And the last one, function k has a parent function. So remember, we played that little game, who's the mama, right? So here's the baby. The data in the table's the baby. We have to match up, these are the 4 moms that we have to match up to the baby. Well, to do that, graph the baby. So let's graph this guy here. So I'm going to go -4, 20. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go up 20. So we're going to do 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to count by 5s there. So this is -4, 20. I'm going to put a point. This is -3, so -3, 13. Well, this is 15. This will be about 13. -1, 5. So I go -1 and up 5 because we're counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. This time we're going to go +1 and 5. And then we're going to go +2 and then up 8. Well, this is 5, 10. So 8 will be just a little bit less. And if I start to connect that, you will see the baby. So which one of these graphs matches up to its mama? Here's your parent function, G. It's a quadratic. You can also see, look in the Y right here. See how the data is going down, and then in the Y it hits 5 and then it starts to come back up? See how the data is coming down and then it starts to come back up? So you can visually see that in the graph as well.